Hello guys, so in today's video I'm gonna share with you the deck that I actually used to complete this Master the Deck Bridge Spam Challenge. So as you can see on the right, I actually used an RG kind of a Psycho deck, right? So with Ice Wiz NATO, kind of a cage, this is the deck that we use. And we're gonna share a couple of tree replays actually, so we're gonna see how we handle all these matchups. We have against a 2.6, we have against an RG Lightning, which can prove to be tricky, and then the last one we did it against Royal Hawk. So I was pretty surprised that I didn't see any Bowler or Royal Recruits in the matchups. Alright, so I'll see you guys in the first game. Alright, so the first game is against Hawk 2.6. So by looking at the deck, we have a pretty good defense. So we're gonna split this up, we're gonna do this in ×2. So basically, you try to defend the Hawk first, right? So I have Fisherman, so over here we activate. So you're using your Fisherman, your Tornado, and your Cage. So all this with King Tower activation can perfectly deny the Hawk. So over there we get a nice fireball value. We only get one shot, but that's fine because we're pretty much up at this point, and we have this in control because we can defend the Hawk pretty well. Okay, so we're trying to go get in double elixir over here. We go with the Cage. Ice Wiz is more for the Ice Golem and to counter push on the right, and now this is gonna be fine. Okay, so we Tornado early in case he tries to defend that with the Ice Golem or with some stuff. So overall, very good damage off at the start, and he really has no answer with the Hawk Rider, right? There is nothing he can do. So because I have my defenses up there, so I can safely RG in the back. So over here we went with the Cage. We could have went with the Fisherman instead, I would say, because that can actually pull it. Here we go with the Baby D, we go with the Fireball to push the Musketeer forward, and that's really key. So basically you see we take tower over here. Over here we're gonna NATO the Hawk, but that was a kind of a mistake. But again, we're not too bothered because at this point in time we basically have to game one. We're going for the other tower because the right side is already in Fireball range. We're just trying to defend the Hawk. He has to go here because there's not enough time for him to take a full tower on the right. So basically we're just blocking the entire lane with whatever we have, and there's no way you can break through, right? Alright, so against Hawk 2.6, which might be a common deck because there's a full deck available over here. So this is how you want to play this. Alright, so I'll see you guys in the next game. This replay I will be going through how I played against Royal Giant Lightning. So against Lightning decks you gotta be careful, you gotta try to space out your troops a bit more, but of course you don't know that because he hasn't played it. But because you have a lot of stuff that die to Lightning and can give him good value. Your Goblin Cage, your Goblin Cage, the Brawlers, the Ice Wiz, and your Fisherman all die to Lightning. So basically, we're cycling the Cage. If I don't have Tornado in hand, I will put the Cage high because Hawk Riders might be quite common, Royal Hawks might be quite common. So I would recommend you put your Cage high if you don't have your Tornado in hand. So over here, just cycling at the start. Also, I don't recommend you putting your Fisherman all the way in the back because Giant Scally is an option in this challenge. Alright, so here we're going with the Fireball, great Fireball value. Okay, so the other thing that I will briefly say in this challenge, there is no Balloon, there is no Lava Hound. So you are pretty safe, I would say pretty safe in cycling your air defenses. Okay, so over here he goes with this, he reveals his RG. So we put the Cage high, so to make sure that the RG doesn't go into the rage radius. But as it starts to walk, I decide to go with the NATO as well, so as we don't take any damage. Because we are not down in Elixir, so that is pretty okay. And after he plays his Mega Minion, we know we're fine. So at this point, it's pretty good to reset because he has a Cage and Cycle. So even if you go RG at the bridge, the counter push will hurt you even more. So better to try with this deck. If you can build up one big push, then go in with your spell. So that's what I did over here. Okay, so in the meantime, I also say that in this challenge, you don't have Scally Barrel, you don't have Goblin Barrel. You have Wall Breakers, right? But I don't think too many people will play Wall Breakers in this challenge. So it's also perfectly okay to cycle your Barb Barrel at the start. Okay, so over here we got the Fisherman trying to hook the Electro Wiz. And then we add in the Baby D to take care of the Lumberjack. Fisherman does great over here, pulling the Lumberjack away. So Lumberjack dies, and the Rage unfortunately goes on the Brawler just by one tile. So the Brawler is raged up, so we only get 2 hits over there. Alright, he plays the Mega Minion. Again, we try to cycle. And now we know that actually his Cage is out of cycle. So why not just go in with aggressive RG? We go with that, trying to pull his Lumberjack, but unfortunately I went in and it got on the Cage. So the Fireball was very aggressive. If I had saved my Fireball, I wouldn't take so much damage on this push, which you can see all his stuff survived with a little bit. The Electro Wiz survives with 1 HP, so there is no choice, I have to go with the Tornado. I decided to put the Cage low this time on this defense because there were too many troops coming in that were raged. If I put it high, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be evaporated in like 1 or 2 seconds. So he still has the Mega Minion over here, so I had to play the Baby D to deny the damage. So just like that, one aggressive Fireball makes me not having enough Elixir to defend. So that's when we took the damage. Over here, we decided to go in aggressive because that's almost gonna be overtime. So we go with the RG at the bridge. We have the Fisherman there thinking that he can hook maybe the Lumberjack. So he goes with the cage, Fisherman goes to the cage. We throw in the barrel as well to tank some hits from the Lumberjack. That's the main idea. We want the Lumberjack or the Brawler to hit on the Barbarian instead. So here comes a pretty big counter push. Luckily the Fireball was there to clean it up. That actually is very important. I kept the Ice Whiz alive there. So the Ice Whiz actually slows it down a bit. Here we try to go with the Ice Whiz instead of the cage because I was comfortable taking the shot because at tournament level we're not in spell range yet. Okay, so the Ice Whiz goes there, and then again we're just trying to get the Fisherman. We're always trying to get the Fisherman to hook away his Lumberjack. So we go with this, he gives us Fireball value, we have to take it, because at this point it's almost going to be triple Elixir. So Spell Cycle was definitely an option. We're not going to put anything low because he has Lightning. Because most probably he'll go with the Lightning. Here we go with the second Fisherman because we're very afraid of the Lightning, so we know that we cannot give the RG any more shots, which thankfully it didn't take any. So we go with the aggressive RG, and then we throw in the barrel as well. Just hoping that whether the Lumberjack or anything else will target onto that. So very close game, we were just one Lightning away, but we managed to take the victory. Alright, I'll see you guys in the last replay. Okay, so my last battle for this challenge, we faced Royal Hawk. So both my last games, 7 and 8 victories, I think. Or is it 8 and 9? We faced Royal Hawk. So Royal Hawks are pretty popular towards the later part. This one has a Firecracker, which is a little bit more irritating than let's say Magic Archer, because I can fireball the Magic Archers. Over here we try to deny the Hero Spirit. We tried to Tornado early, but we messed up. Because the Baby D cleared all of them, or the Nado was not in the right spot. So he protects his Firecracker over there. So unfortunately we took a bit of damage without getting the activation. But I know that the activation is important. So over here we still decided to go for the activation. Use the Ice Wizard to bait out that. Alright, so that's important. Against Royal Hawks, it's always important. If he was using RG, I would have just taken damage. So it's very important. Over here he gives us Fireball value, so we will take it. Now we know he's playing Earthquake, right? He didn't reveal that before, so when you know your opponent's Earthquake, you don't want to go with a Naked Cage at the start, because that's just decent value for him. Okay, so he goes out with his second ground defense, so he has Hunter and Mini P.E.K.K.A, so that's something that you have to keep in mind. What are the high DPS units? They don't have P.E.K.K.A in this game, but they have Mini P.E.K.K.A, they have Lumberjack, which is also very good DPS troops against your Royal Giant. So when they are not in cycle, that is when you try to punish. So over here he just uses Mini P.E.K.K.A and his Ice Golem, and then over here he uses his Hunter. So that's when we go RG opposite immediately. He only has a Firecracker, he has a Log, Kill Spirit, you can see he still takes a ton of damage on the opposite lane. So that is very key, when to go in with the RG. Sometimes you have to cycle in the back, but in this case when he played both his DPS troops, that is when you go at the bridge. And then with King Tower activated, we can have a good defense. So your Barbarian Barrel is always safe in this case for the Heal Spirit. Unless the Firecracker gets too irritating or he stacks up too many Firecracker, then you can consider using it for the Firecracker, but I would suggest that always keep it for the Heal Spirit. Okay, so you can see we took more damage on the left, so Firecrackers going on the right were perfectly fine to take those damage. We're cycling in the left to defend it, because I know that I can just RG bridge, and then with the Fisherman we can hook away his troops. So we always have to go in with the Fisherman, because he doesn't have he doesn't have skeletons or anything in this deck, so he can't really protect it. So that's why we go in. Whenever we go RG, you have to play your Fisherman to try to hook away his DPS units. Okay, so over here again we save the barrel with the cage, King Tower activated, we're fine. Alright, so looking good. Apart from the early mistake, we're looking good in this game, so we know we just have to keep up the same kind of offense. The defense will always be the same. You have your cage to stop it. Even if it goes with the Earthquake, you still have to go with the cage. Okay, over here we don't have it in cycle because he cycled faster, so we had to go with the Fireball. Heal Spirit doesn't heal up his troops. Thankfully the Baby D tanked for that heal, so we are fine. We don't have the Fisherman, so we go with the Ice Wizard. It's the same idea. Whether it's slowing down just to make sure that we get a hit, Barb Barrel to tank for whether it's the Hunter shot or the Mini P.E.K.K.A shot, that's the idea. Because towards the end, you're basically just fighting for tower damage. And as long as you have a good defense over here, you can see we had to go with the cage, the Baby D. Unfortunately, he gets the heal up because I used the Barb Barrel on offense. So Fisherman is played on the right side over here because I want to go with the counter push on the right. So he tries to get some damage with the Firecracker, but I know it's not gonna kill me, so that's fine. That's why we go in with the extra Barbarian also, in case he goes with the Hunter. And that's it. I would say this deck is pretty good, not just in this challenge, but also if you want to try it on ladder, please feel free to do so. So let me know what your thoughts are on this deck, alright? So if you guys like this video, like my content, don't forget to like and subscribe, it really helps me a lot. Okay, so we'll see you guys when we decide to do a next video. As I promised in the previous video, we'll do another off-meta deck. Alright, meta decks, a lot of people play better than me, so we're gonna introduce another off-meta deck in the next video. So do keep a lookout for that, and in the meantime, stay safe guys. Peace out.